Was good, ballers? It's Jim's balling back again with the power rankings going into week 16, just a few weeks left. But yeah, we're ranking all 32 teams. Let's just get right into it. At number 32, still in last place, it's got to be the Giants. All their quarterbacks are ass. The whole roster's ass outside of a few players. They just got demolished by the Ravens. They're 2-12 and they'll probably lose the rest of their games. So yeah, they're butt. At number 31, we got the Raiders, and their whole roster sucks outside of a few players. All their quarterbacks suck, and they're also 2-12, and they'll probably also lose the rest of their games. Giants and the Raiders, easily the two worst teams in the league. At number 30, we got the Browns, and maybe this is kind of low, but all their quarterbacks just turnover prone. The quarterbacks are butt. Nick Chubb just got injured. He's out again for the Browns, and this team is butt. They look so defeated. I just don't have any faith in them. I feel like the Browns will probably lose the rest of their games too. Number 29, we got the Bears, and maybe this is kind of low for them, but just how bad they've looked the past couple of weeks. Like, they just can't do fucking anything on offense. This team is just so butt, and they lost to the Vikings where they could barely do anything at all. They're 4-10, and man, it's just looking really bad, but I don't know, maybe next year will be better for the Bears. Number 28, we got the Titans, and they moved up a little bit, even though they lost to the Bengals. But I mean, I don't know, they put up some garbage time touchdowns. I guess Tajay Spears looked really good for the Titans, and overall as a roster, they're maybe a little bit better than their record, but I don't know. I think the Titans are still pretty bad, and I don't know what they do at quarterback. Will Levis isn't it. Rudolph fucking sucks too. So number 27, we got the Jaguars, and they lost to the Jets in kind of a close one. Both teams put up a lot of points, surprisingly, and the Jaguars have been looking maybe a little bit better. Mac Jones maybe is better than we thought, but I think the Jaguars are maybe a little bit better than some of these bottom of the barrel teams. That's why they're up at 27. But yeah, they're 3-11, and I don't know, probably best to lose the rest of their games, but we'll see. Number 26, we got the Panthers, and man, oh man, after looking a little bit more impressive these past few weeks, even though they lost games, they just got absolutely demolished by the Cowboys. They couldn't do fucking anything. They're now 3-11, and the Panthers, I don't know about them. Number 25, we got the Patriots, and they kind of disappointed me. I thought they'd get an upset over the Cardinals, but man, coming off a bye week, they looked super flat, and the Patriots still need a lot of work, a lot of improvement. And yeah, they're 3-11. Number 24, we got the Jets, and they were barely able to beat the Jaguars. They got a win, but I mean, does it really matter? The season's over. I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is doing for next season. Jets are a mess. Even if Aaron Rodgers comes back and is looking better, I mean, the defense looks super ass now. I mean, they gave up 25 points to the fucking Jaguars and Mac Jones. Like, man, the Jets are super ass. I don't know what they're doing, but I mean, I guess they won a game and they won a few games, so I don't know. 23, we got the Saints, and they kind of surprised me. Even though they lost, they almost won. If they got that 2-point conversion, they would have won the game, and maybe Spencer Rattler's a little bit better than I thought. The Saints are maybe a little bit better than I thought. I thought they were kind of dead in the water with Derek Carr's injury. I thought they'd probably lose out, but I don't know. They look kind of competitive. They look all right, so they're maybe one of the better of the really bad teams, and they're 5-9. Number 22, we got the Colts, and they lost to the Broncos in a game that was really disappointing. A game they need to win to make the playoffs, and now their season's over, so I don't know. I just keep getting Anthony Richardson reps. I guess maybe he'll get better. Number 21, we got the 49ers, and this team just looks so defeated. They only put up 6 points against the Rams, and they lost, and they're 6-8, and their season's done. I don't know if they try to run it back next year, but this team is just super disappointing. I think their Super Bowl window's closed. Number 20, we got the Falcons, and they beat the Raiders in a game where they looked super ass, super disappointing. They could just barely do anything against the Raiders, who are complete fucking ass. But I mean, they're 7-7 and still can maybe make the playoffs, but man, this team is a mess. Number 19, we got the Cowboys, and they're kind of putting things together a little bit, but they're 6-8, and they beat the Panthers, which I don't know if that's impressive. The Panthers are still pretty ass, but yeah, I don't know what the Cowboys are doing. They're just kind of stuck in mid right now. Number 18, we got the Dolphins, and they lost to the Texans, and their playoff hopes are done. They're looking done, and it's just the Dolphins being the Dolphins, where they beat the bad teams, got Tua in. I mean, the team looks all right. They can beat these bad teams, but they can't beat the actual good teams. They lost to the Texans, and I think that's just where they're stuck. They're stuck. They'll never be successful with the team they got right now. So I don't know. They need to make some changes. Number 17, we got the Bengals, and they beat the Titans in a turnover fest. But I mean, they got the win, and maybe they can still make the playoffs. They keep winning these games, so we'll see with the Bengals. Number 16, we got the Cardinals, and I thought they were dead in the water, but they beat the Patriots pretty easily. They're now 7-7, and maybe they can win out. Maybe they can make the playoffs, but I don't have too much faith in the Cardinals. Number 15, we got the Seahawks, and man, that was disappointing. They just kind of got handled by the Packers. They're still 8-6, still have a chance. Maybe if they beat the Rams later in the season, maybe they can win the division, but I don't know. The Seahawks are just kind of up and down. I don't have too much faith in them. Number 14, we got the Rams. Got all these NFC West teams right in a row, and it's just, I don't know how to feel about them. They're kind of inconsistent, kind of up and down. The Rams, they beat the 49ers, but barely. The offense couldn't really do anything. Coming off a week where they just put up hella points against the Bills, Rams are really inconsistent, but I mean, maybe they'll still win their division. They're 8-6. I mean, we'll see with the NFC West. I don't know how to feel about it. Number 13, we got the Texans, and they beat the Dolphins. I mean, it was a good win. They locked up their division, and I don't know. Maybe they can look better, but they're looking like a first-round playoff exit right now. Number 12, we got the Chargers, and man, they disappointed me. The second half of that game was disgusting. They just got dominated by the Bucs in that second half, and they're now at 8-6. We'll see if they can rebound, see if they can look good, maybe can make the playoffs, but I don't know. I feel like I was maybe a little too high on the Chargers after the Bucs just demolished them. Number 11, we got the Commanders, and they barely beat the Saints, but wins and win. They're 9-5. They play against the Eagles. If they can win that game, they can look really impressive, but otherwise they'll probably be a first round playoff exit. Number 10, we got the Broncos, and man, I don't know, Bo Nix kind of looking a little bit bad, but man, that defense is for real for the Broncos. They're a really good team. If that defense can stay this good, this really, really good defense, and if Bo Nix can maybe limit the turnovers, look all right, then the Broncos could be a really good team. So they're 9-5, and they'll probably make the playoffs. Number 9, we got the Bucs jumping up a lot after that impressive win. I thought the Chargers would beat them, but that's a big win on the road, cross conference, good win. Still in first place in the NFC South, and they're looking really hot, looking really good. This Bucs team could be scary. Number 8, we got the Steelers, and they lost to the Eagles, and that was just disappointing. Their defense, they really hang their hat on their defense, but they couldn't stop the Eagles at all in the second half. But they're still 10-4, and they play against the Ravens. If they can win that game, then they could be really impressive going to the playoffs. But if they lose, then yeah, this will probably just be the same old Steelers where they make the playoffs, but they're really not that good. Number 7, we got the Ravens coming off a bye week. They got the easy win against the Giants. Get right game. Hopefully they can beat the Steelers. I don't know. This Ravens-Steelers game's pretty big game right here. This game will kind of really show who's a real Super Bowl contender between these two. Steelers been getting a lot of wins, but they haven't looked super impressive. The Ravens, we know how good they can be. We know they can be a Super Bowl team, but they've been looking super consistent. So we'll see how the Ravens and Steelers play. This will be a big game. Number 6, we got the Packers. They beat the Seahawks, a good win. This Packers team is looking really good, really impressive. Not too much to say, just Packers, really good. Number 5, we got the Vikings, and they just easily handled the Bears. 12-2, insanely good record. Vikings just have a really good defense, and Sam Darnold's been playing good, so Vikings are good. And number 4, we got the Lions falling a good bit. And I don't know where to put the Lions just after this loss to the Bills. I feel like maybe putting them lower, maybe a little bit of an overreaction, but I can't put them top 3 because of all these injuries. You know how injured the defense is, but now David Montgomery's out for the season and just all these injuries. It's hard for me to put the Lions top 3. I think they're good at number 4. We'll see how they look next week. Let's see how they rebound. They're 12-2, but I mean, so are the Vikings, and the Lions are having their best season ever as a franchise, and they got the Vikings at 12-2, breathing on their neck, and the Packers 10-4. Just the NFC North is the best it's ever been. The Lions are just having their best season and just riddled with injuries too. It's just really unlucky for the Lions, but We know Dan Campbell. We know he'll rally his team. So the Lions should still be really good, but I got them at number 4. And number 3, we got the Chiefs, and they're able to beat the Browns. Probably should have beat the Browns by more, considering they got all those turnovers and only put up 21 points. Patrick Mahomes, he might be injured, so I can't put the Chiefs higher than 3, but yeah, they're at 3. They still got the best record in the league, so yeah. Number 2, we got the Bills, and they beat the Lions. Good win. They're at 11-3, and just Josh Allen's looking like an MVP. The Bills are looking like a Super Bowl team, but they'll probably lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs again. We know how that goes. So that means at number 1, I gotta go with the Eagles. Doesn't feel right, but I think it's the right choice because they easily beat the Steelers. The Steelers are a really good team, but they just dominated time of possession in the second half against the Steelers. They just really controlled that game against a really good team. They're 12-2 and have the longest win streak in the league, so I gotta put them at number 1. And if they're able to run their offense how they want to, they're able to just completely drain the other team, just drain the clock, time of possession, and just wear down the other team, they can be a really dangerous team. So I think right now, currently, the Eagles are the best team. Do I think they'll win the Super Bowl? Probably not, but at this current point in time, with all the injuries and just other losses the other teams have had, I feel like the Eagles are the best team right now. But yeah, this has been the Power Rankings. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Jim's Ballin'. Got more videos on the way, and I'll see you next time. Peace.